types of muscle cells. Skeletal muscle, which would attach to a tendon, which would attach to a bone. Smooth muscle, which we see in many organs of the body, lining blood vessels, major part of the digestive tract, of the reproductive tract, etc., etc. Cardiac only found in the heart. Cardiac muscle is strictly located in the heart. So, comparing the cells, skeletal muscle cells are by far the largest of the three. We'll just say large, small, and small. And skeletal muscle cells are multinucleated, many nuclei in one skeletal muscle cell, or myofiber. So a muscle cell, by the way, that applies to all three of these. Any muscle cell is also referred to as a myofiber. So multinucleated skeletal myofibers, mononucleated, smooth myofibers, single nucleus, same for cardiac, mononucleated. Now, skeletal muscle cells have right angle bands called striations. So, these are striated. These are striated cells, multinucleated and striated cells. Not striated, no right angle bands. Notice under the microscope when you're examining smooth muscle. Cardiac muscle cells are also striated, but they're so much smaller. I should be able to say, okay, striated cells, look how tiny they are at this magnification, got to be cardiac. But there's more to allow us to tell them apart. What else here? Large, multinucleated, striated. Going along with the multinucleated, little footnote down here. Multinucleated, and those nuclei are very superficial. I'll show you what that means in a moment. Mononucleated, footnote. The nucleus, the single nucleus, is located deep within the cytoplasm. And the same for the cardiac. That single nucleus. Let's move this down even farther because I want to put another characteristic down here on this column. Deep location, deep within the cytoplasm. And there are two other characteristics to cardiac muscle cells that we do not see with smooth or skeletal. Intercalated discs, presence of intercalated discs, and bifurcations. So maybe bifurcated. Maybe bifurcated. So there are bullet points up there. What would a class today be without bullet points? All right, so intercalated discs are similar to striations in location. They are perpendicular bands, right angle bands, but they actually represent where muscle cells meet. So in other words, the striations are internal. Any given cardiac muscle cell has internal right angle bands, but an intercalated disc is where the two cells meet. They form an intercalated disc. We don't see that in the case of smooth or skeletal. So you see something like this. Let's take a look at a skeletal muscle cell. Multinucleated, striated. These are striations, right angle bands. So longitudinal view and right angle, the long axis, we see these bands. And in cross section, we find out that those nuclei are superficially located. You go cross section, the nucleus is right under the cell membrane, not deep within the cytoplasm. Smooth, they are quite small, and they're definitely tapered at each end. They're said to be spindle shaped. They come to a point at each end. single nucleus, mononucleated. If you see that in cross-section, it's deep within the cytoplasm. Notice how that's pressed right up against the inside of the cell membrane. This is about as far away from the cell membrane internally as the nucleus can get. Cardiac muscle cells, they're more rectangular. So this is a non-bifurcated cardiac muscle cell. Single nucleus, striations, yes. And in cross-section, the nucleus is deep within the cytoplasm. Now sometimes the cells may bifurcate, meaning they would do this. Notice how it branches, bends, and so on. That's called a bifurcation. We still have the single nucleus, we still have striations, like so. And then these cells can now connect to other cells and form intercalated discs. So you have a situation like this. There's another cell that is I'm not going to make it bifurcated. And right where they join, you get what looks like an especially dark, thick striation. That is an intercalated disc. So this represents a junction between two cardiac muscle cells. There's one cell on the left, another cell on the right. It's going to be mononucleated and striated. So that would go to another cell here. There would be an intercalated disc right there where they join together. Striations and central single nucleus. Okay? So some of the characteristics of the three major characteristics that are actually visible microscopically of skeletal, smooth, and cardiac muscle cells. Okay, so that said, any questions?